Hi, I'm Lalonde.
And I'm Brittany Reimer, and we're with MLA Canada.
And we're here to talk about one of the hottest submarkets right now in real estate, Langley. So now, Brittany, there's no doubt in our minds right now that Langley is one of the fastest growing submarkets in British Columbia. This is attracting families and investors of all forms. It's attracting home buyers from essentially every age cohort, every buyer profile. From young families all the way through to portfolio investors. In the last 12 months, sales have soared to record heights. Langley has led the Lower Mainland in year-over-year price appreciation in both townhomes and condominiums. And of course today, the city and the township of Langley are still performing despite some of the massive pullbacks that we're seeing in other communities across BC. Even after 12 months of impressive sales appreciation, inventory turnover in the resale market is some of the highest that we've seen since 2018. Still one of the hottest marketplaces in all of British Columbia.
Why don't we just first start and jump right into the pre-sale market in this area? So as outlined
You mean in your backyard?
In my backyard, yeah, absolutely.
Let's do it.
As outlined in the report, there are 6 recently launched wood frame condo and townhome projects within the city and township of Langley that have recently launched. As projects have launched, they have witnessed incredible demand and strong absorptions right across the board. This is translated into heightened presale PSF in established Langley submarkets such as Willoughby Heights, as well as smaller, historically less active areas. And when we say PSF, we should confirm price per square foot for any of the viewers out there that are watching. Willoughby has seen a number of successful project launches within the last 90 days, many projects selling 50% of inventory after only their first few months of sales. No surprises there. As a market, Langley is supported by an impressive amount of upcoming condo and townhome launches. We're watching very, very closely to see how this goes over the next couple months here. In total, 20 new presale projects between 2 product types. They'll be launching over 2,300 new residents in the marketplace over the next 2 to 3 years. 2,300, that is a lot. And I bet you that is actually just the tip of the iceberg.
Those are really incredible numbers, right? Powerful for any market, but when you think about the size and certainly the profile of Langley, that's big.
That is big.
Britt, let's talk about some of the trends. Now, we just jumped into the data. There's no question that it's strong. That market's been performing really well, but there are some really interesting trends that are happening in the presale market. Price per square foot for presale wood frame condos, that's hovering around $650 to $675 per square foot in the city of Langley for wood frame. Similarly, Langley Township has also seen prices around the $675 to $700 per square foot for a wood frame condo. Those are huge numbers from where they were just 12 months ago. Our expectation is that these values are going to continue to increase with some of the upcoming launches. We're going to see price pushing up, and there's a few key reasons why that is.
Okay, so let's chat about resale, Rye. We have to touch on the resale market with a strong interest in the submarket due to its livability and quality of homes available, and this new value formula, which we've spoken about in our previous videos. Sales in Q2 2021, condos were a staggering 188% higher than they were during the same time last year. That is 83% higher than the 5-year quarterly average. Big numbers, no surprise. Similarly, townhomes were also up 135% in Q2 2021, and that is 67% higher than the 5-year average. Prices across Langley submarkets have seen a significant price appreciation. Compared to June of last year, the HPI index price across Langley for condos and townhomes are up 18% and 20% respectively, garnering some of the highest appreciation in the Lower Mainland. We've definitely felt this on our programs in the Fraser Valley, particularly in Langley, so I know that we can speak to that as well. Our MLA Advisory Intelligence has labeled Langley as one of the hottest markets today, but also one of the hottest markets in the future.
Now, a huge point of pride as well is that many of our programs, from when where they begin, from a price per square foot standpoint, and where many of them land, those are 2 very different places, right? Really making adjustments that are keeping in line with the market trends. And I think what we are constantly seeing day over day is upward pressure on price. And that's really important for home buyers to know, our viewers to know, and of course for our development partners to know, because as the market continues to appreciate, we're going to continue to make sure that we're adapting our pricing thresholds to make sure that we're following suit.
Absolutely, and we have to think of our development partners as well, right? Their construction costs are going up, and their municipal costs are going up, and so this appreciation is part of just a market adjustment, but also some of the additional costs that our development partners are starting to bear.
Right.
Well.
Yeah. Fair enough. Just associated with the construction
Absolutely.
process.
Yeah. So a decrease in inventory across product types and historically high sales has caused the sales to listing ratio to increase to an average of 45% in Q2 2021. 2021 within the wood frame condo market, and an average of 81% Q2 for townhome product. That niche market has been very hot.
And let's point out that a more traditional marketplace, a more consumer-friendly marketplace, we typically expect that to be somewhere between 15 and 20%. So these are 30% would be a high number. 80% is almost unfathomable.
Yeah, these are extreme sellers market territory.
So there's some incredible market data there, Britt. And just a reminder to our viewers to check out the most recent edition of the Fraser Valley Presale Pulse. This is for a more comprehensive rundown of everything that's happening in that marketplace. But nonetheless, the stats speak for themselves. It's a growing price point neighborhood. Our expectations that's going to continue to happen as well.
So Langley, as we know, is a great location for young families looking to enter into the marketplace, predominantly in search of more space. We know this. When we look at the townhome purchases in Langley, 37% are within 30 to 39 years old. In addition, looking at purchaser stats, 38% fall under room to start. This tells us that there's a significant number of buyers in the townhouse market in Langley that are young families just entering into the housing market over the past 12 months. And I find that really interesting because I think a lot would have assumed that, those buyers are upgrading maybe from, a condo. And of course, those buyers do exist out there, but a lot of these buyers are actually entering into the townhouse market as well. So whether they're getting some support from family or other dynamics, that is a really interesting stat, I think.
Right. And just a reminder to our viewers, now if you haven't done so already, the sister episode of the Langley Spotlight talks a lot about some of those buyer profiles and market data. So I think if you haven't done so already, check out the links below and make sure that you watch that video. It's going to give you some really great background on not only the buyer profiles, but then some of the economic drivers of that neighborhood as well.
We see a real trend of working professionals who are further along in their careers. They're desiring that work-life balance that everybody has just really craved during and post-COVID, and they're really drawn towards Langley. Additionally, the ease of commuting to downtown and other cities via the existing highway network is really important to them and a consideration and a factor. Work from home, as we know, is just becoming so popular, and so it just really makes sense with the additional space and that need. Again, in the townhome purchaser data provided by MLA Advisory Team, 47% of the buyers were motivated by room to grow, those looking to upsize. Downsizers, slightly less price sensitive and higher value end home finishings to match their lifestyle is what they've been really looking for, and they're really ready to embrace that calm yet vibrant lifestyle of downsizing from a larger single family home to a townhome or to a condo. And it's interesting because we haven't had a lot of condo product so far this year that has been tailored specifically to that downsizer buyer. And so I wonder if there's a real opportunity for that as well over the coming 18 months here.
So what's the actionable intelligence here that's going to take shape in Langley? Well, I think there are two key insights that the data, the trends, and the municipal planning is telling us right now. The first is an important one: population growth. Population growth across key demographics. This is going to drive infrastructure investments like the Surrey-Langley SkyTrain extension. And this represents one of the biggest infrastructure changes that's kind of happening in Langley, and it's going to have a huge shift on the accessibility and the connection to the community. Many have felt like this has been needed for quite some time. And I think many homebuyers have felt that Langley was just a bit too far away. This brings it much closer. A 16-kilometer addition to the SkyTrain network that's going to start at the King George Station. This extends into the heart and the city of Langley. In most cases, investments like this really spur strong demand and rapid growth, as transit remains just one of the strongest motivations in the home buying process. Now, it's important to note that the region south of Fraser also includes some of the fastest growing communities in British Columbia. By 2050, and this is important, by 2050, Surrey-Langley City and the Langley Township, they're expected to increase their population to over 420,000 residences. It's a huge number. And with that comes jobs. It also comes increased economic activity, and that will drive demand and an increase in transit services. And as we've seen in elsewhere, like Coquitlam and even the Cambie Street corridor, where transit goes, appreciating real estate values often follows.
Absolutely, Rye. And we know that what you can expect with those key points is an increase in property values. Absolutely. A diverse housing mix that includes both medium and high density residential in areas surrounding those core SkyTrain stations. Reduced vehicle ownership and congestion. Township of Langley definitely could use a little bit of that. Increased interest from young purchasers attracted to Langley's affordability and connectivity. All of those things are going to come, and they're going to come fast and furious.
So that was the first changing insight that we think is really important. The second key insight is just the change in consumer preference. Now, what's really been evident here over the last year and a half is that the pandemic is really reshaping not only purchaser preferences, but just the nature of where we work, right? How we work, and the expectations that we have in the communities that are kind of supporting our families, how we want to live in them, and that live-work balance that we're all looking for. So for many purchasers in the Lower Mainland right now, the commute time has always played that pivotal role in demand and affordability. Proximity to work, often more important than utility inside the home or the amenities outside and around the neighborhood. Now today, new value formula continues to just really redefine these values. And this is especially the case in secondary markets, just like Langley, markets outside of those energy centers. This has led to two key outcomes. One, home buyers are really looking further east for larger, more affordable spaces. And the second major outcome is that the heart of Metro Vancouver feels like it's no longer based around the downtown core. COVID-19 and all those changing perspectives that we just talked about kind of fall out of the global pandemic. It's really fast-tracked and helped crystallize some parts of the downtown core decentralization goals. And these are the originally envisioned goals that many of the city planners around the downtown core have been chasing for the last 2 decades in how we've built transit out, how we've built access to community out, certainly how we're building out infrastructure. So more of our purchasers now are substituting public amenities such as parks and community centers for home amenities. And these shifts re-emphasize the value on the specific characteristics of the home rather than just the relative location. As a result, Langley's just going to continue to see significant market activity. That's led to a huge increase in turnover, a really robust year-over-year appreciation across all housing types within that market. Our expectation too is that what's happened over the past 12 months is going to continue to be expected over the next 12 months. And it's really not clear yet if COVID related to these shifts in purchaser preferences is going to be permanent or reverse, but we do believe that some aspects of those habits are being crystallized right now. And as a result of that, places like Langley, they're here to stay in terms of those values. And our belief is that, at least for the foreseeable future, that those values are going to continue to climb.
Yeah, I mean, what's really interesting, Ryan, is we know that developers now and our development partners are really starting to understand these trends. They're starting to really dive in and dig deep on what consumers in this marketplace want. And so, you know, our other thought is we know that the product that's going to be coming to market within the next 18 months is going to be inventory and product that is very well designed, great amenities, really speaking to these buyers who are looking for that trend to move out east, but they still don't want to lose the great things they love maybe about their current cities, such as the ability to walk to commercial and retail space and maybe their rooftop patios with views. And many don't know, Langley has incredible mountain views and opportunity as well.
And with just under 500,000 new residences coming to this neighborhood, Langley is going to continue to recreate itself every decade. And we're really excited about that because there's very few places or tracts of land in the city that have the opportunity that it now has. Britt, I think that's a wrap. Thank you for tuning into the Neighborhood Spotlight. Our goal, as always, it's just really to continue to provide our viewers with actionable intelligence. And this is on everything that is happening in the local residential marketplace. Now, of course, as always, if there is a market or a project that you want us to really dive deep, drop us a line in the comments section below. And if you found some value in the Spotlight episode, which we hope that you did, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, Newswire, if you haven't already done so. Newswire is our daily email roundup of the latest real estate news. So subscribers get early access to Presale Pulse, market insights, and projects breaking ground. And maybe most importantly, it puts you front of line for anything that is coming out of MLA Canada's upcoming project profile. And of course, the MLA advisory team is always available. If you need any data or looking for a deeper dive on marketplace information, contact us by visiting us in the links below. And stay tuned for some of the upcoming future spotlights that we're excited to share with you.